actually we've seen a lot against Warden recently, and this is just because it can do it can drain life just as you get shadow struck, and so it you shouldn't focus down the Dark Ranger because it can heal up just as quickly as you can damage it, almost not actually as fast. But as you can see, a tower rush here and life drain being used by the Dark Ranger. This I've seen maybe 3 or 4 times ever, and it has actually been fairly effective the times that I've seen it, more because of the sort of surprise factor than anything else. Ancient of Wars being produced on either side of the tower, that's fairly sensible by Remind, and Remind's presumably pumping archers from his next one. I don't want to go over and check just because it's valuable time, but as you can see, because of this really fast push, sort of as soon as the hero comes out, it means that Warden's still level 1, and level 1 Warden's a bit rubbish, and I imagine that Thu decided that he was going to continue with the Dark Mage if he saw that it was a Demon Hunter out first, but cancel it if it was a Warden, and that's why he sort of was built, and that's another reason to build the Archmage anyways. And this Ancient of War is now up, but so is an Arcane Tower. Arcane Tower obviously destroys Wardens to no end, and so what Remind's going to want to do is just get a Shadow Strike off, and then oh, he's running out of range, but I would just Shadow Strike and then hide, then Shadow Strike and then hide until he has no mana. Then he can fight around an Arcane Tower and be happy. But this Ancient of War is doing a lot of damage. The second Ancient of War now finishing, and a third being built, and so this is actually looking fairly bad for Thu. Obviously hide just being sort of abused here by Remind, and Thu has nothing really to attack. And obviously he can repair these Arcane Towers, but that's still not going to do much. And level 2 on the Warden now, but immediately getting lots of his mana drained away when he got that. But he will have enough for another Shadow Strike, and he does use it on the Dark Ranger, who immediately starts draining life. But obviously once you hide, that stops, and so this is going very well for Remind at this point. I think more militia being brought in for Thu, and Thu should probably start draining life just whenever he sees that Warden. I guess he could do it off Wisps as well if he really wanted just to steal some life back, just to heal up. But these Moonwells are now almost all empty, and that's going to be bad news for Remind. And I think Thu should probably build a separate tower just somewhere off in the distance away from these Ancient of Wars. One of them's about to go down. I'm surprised he didn't try and heal that anymore. And as you can see, Warden just sort of hitting and then hiding, just so the Arcane Tower can't get to him. And the second Ancient of War, Remind unhides his archers, but between the Ancient of Wars and the Warden really low now, 50 hit points. Needs to be very careful now. He might try and run off to the healing fountain, or just tries and heals off the Moonwells. But yeah, he has used the last of his moon juice for now, but it is obviously still nighttime, and so Whispering brought out to heal his Ancient of War finally. I think Thu needs a lot more peasants here, or footmen and peasants actually. Dark Ranger almost level 2, but really low health, and the Warden actually at low health as well, and no mana, but just so many archers here. That's very nice for Remind, and just whenever these militia or footmen get close, he just uses hide, and that's going very well for him. And a bit of mana left on the Dark Ranger, but really he's in a lot of trouble, and he is still level 1. He's almost level 2 now, and obviously since he didn't creep at all, that's not too bad. He is now level 2. He got 1 archer kill, and it looks, no, he doesn't get a second one. Hide's used again. That's very nice hide use by Remind. And one Moonwell just in the back here that does have a bit of mana left. You notice Remind did cancel his Hunter's Hall. He knew it wouldn't get up in time, and if this rush had come a bit later, Ancient Protectors would have been very nice. But nice use of by Shadow Strike here. Remind just doing exactly as I said, really getting a Shadow Strike and then hiding before the Arcane Tower can hit him, and before actually anything can hit him, because he's taking so much damage. And Dark Arrow second for Remind. That's sort of to be expected, because there's nothing really to silence when the Warden doesn't have mana. And Dark Ranger now forced to run away, and these two Ancient of War still beating down. There's nothing really that Thu can do about that. He really has to just go for the archers. Gets one archer kill, might get a second. He gets a second. He might get a third actually. Obviously nighttime's almost over now, so that's gonna be very bad news for Remind. And Thu actually might just want to sort of try and walk away from this at this point. Ancient of Wonders going down, so maybe for Moonstones, maybe for Clarities. Obviously still tier 1, so not really much else he should be buying at this point. Dark Ranger needs to keep on hiding, but sort of hiding, like, I mean getting away. He it might be better for him to just try and get to a health fountain, then try and tech or something, just while he has sort of a distraction on. But he's actually, I don't think that's gonna be possible because he has so many peasants here now. These two ancient of ores really sort of proved their worth, and the Dark Ranger now has to run away. Level 3 Warden now, and no man on it though, so no Shadow Strike. One footman being brought in, and 3 footmen actually now coming and following up, and an Arcane Vault being produced somewhere. I can't see where. Maybe it's out of space. Yeah, it's out of space, and that would have been very nice, sort of just maybe in the middle somewhere, but it would have had to be built earlier on. And the Warden now taking a lot of damage. Thu actually could have got a bit of a surround here if he's paying attention, which apparently he isn't. On the Warden, but he doesn't. And Dark Ranger now is going to need to go and heal up, and might actually go creep this small camp first, just while the Arcane Vault finishes, which is going to take a couple seconds more too now. But he actually did manage to get all his peasants away, so that's very nice for him, and he is actually going to be able to recover for this tower push. It ended up not actually being all in, and it means that both of them had to waste a lot of economy building it, and Hunter's Hall now going up, or going up again really. Clarity on the Warden, and another clarity stacked, and Moonstone being used, and so clearly he just needs to get so much more health on his Warden as well as mana, and first Hunter's being produced now as well. So many archers being produced that it really gonna make sense for him to try for Remind to try and push now. I'm not sure what Thu's gonna do, if he's gonna try and expand or something. He's bringing out lots of militia, but they're going in an opposite direction to his army, so oh, they're just going to go and creep this small camp here so he can get level 3 before he hits. I'm not sure actually if you go for probably level 2 life drain now that it's daytime as well. But I'm not sure of what the sort of standard thing is, because I've never really seen it get to this point before. Warden level 3 still with the clarity, with enough mana that he doesn't need to use it quite yet. And these 5 militia just managing to take out these creeps. Obviously you can't get the item, but that's not a big deal. And one of the Ancients of War just running away, obviously because he built 2 Ancient of War in his base that he now has a spare one, even if he wants to do 2 Ancient of War hunts. So he can get that to sort of a good position to creep while still having full hunt production. That's gonna be very nice for him. Thu has gotten defend now. That's gonna be very good against the sort of 6 or 7 archers, 6 archers. But a creep jack now coming in, and this is gonna be very bad for Thu. Thu might want to TP out of this one. He does have a couple skeletons, but his militia are immediately engaging the creeps rather than the units, in this the units, and so he does decide to TP away eventually. But he did lose a footman, and I think at least 1 militia to the creeps, which is a bit of a shame. But there's not really much you can do there. Meanwhile, Ryan building a Tree of Life in a hidden position here. That's gonna be very nice for him, and obviously he'll be able to Ancient of War creep it and then immediately just walk in as soon as it's done. And he won't be tier 2 actually, so it's going to take a while for him to walk it in. But Thu is actually now taking the tier 2, putting up a blacksmith. He does have a lumber mill up already. He's actually going to have too much lumber. He really needs to get an expansion up, but obviously so hard to against Warden hunts when you have sort of such a odd unit combination anyways. And level 2 Black Arrow for Thu, I believe. I noticed that a while ago. I don't think I mentioned it. Obviously Archer is very nice for taking out this Red Drake early, and this is going to give probably a very nice item for the Warden. You can never be sure, but generally it's nice. Flute of Accuracy, very nice. Obviously almost his entire army is ranged. Meanwhile, Thu creeping the other camp here. He's not going for the Drake though, because he only has 1 unit that can hit it, and that's his hero, and he doesn't want to waste all his hero time just trying to hit it. And Gloves of Haste, the decent item for the Dark Ranger. Meanwhile, the Ancient of War looks like it might have accidentally aggroed the creeps, and so having to run away because Remind's army isn't there yet. And Remind actually coming in and might actually intercept. No, it doesn't look like he will intercept. He looks like he's going for the fountain, but it's going to find it's all been creeped apart from the Drake, which has actually been pulled away, but it is now coming back. And Thu now creeping this other expansion. Obviously, he is going to get creepjacked again. Actually, he doesn't have a TP this time, so this might actually be it for Thu. Obviously, he is going to be a higher tech soon, but oh no, actually Remind started teching as well, sorry. I'm not sure really how Thu could win this at this point. Obviously it's Thu, so there's always a way, but Shadow Strike on the Dark Ranger. Obviously he's been slowed down. He doesn't even have a boots of speed, doesn't have a TP scroll, and looks like he might get surrounded here. Oh no, some nice dodging there, but another Shadow Strike, and he does now get surrounded. It looks like the Dark Ranger will now go down. Tries to suck a bit of health. Obviously it's always good just to use your mana as best you can, before if you know you're gonna die, just use it all really. And well, the footman now running away, but without an expansion, without any sort of hero advantage or tech advantage, I can't imagine th000's actually gonna win this. But certainly it's worth sticking in it just to be sure. And Archmage coming out now for th000. Some pretty odd hero choice really, I think. Although I'm not sure. Maybe Panda or something would. Although against Elf, it's hard because generally when you're thinking of what would I use and or what would my second hero be to Dark Ranger, you're thinking against human, not for human, and like I'm not really sure what a good second hero would be. Mountain King obviously wouldn't be great.